Henley Prison and Stony Mountain Penitentiary. And when they ran the DNA test and everything, they found out that he didn't commit the crime. They released him and paid him out a settlement. That settlement wasn't even close to what? David Milgaard received, I think it was 20, it wasn't even 20, it was like 15 mil for being wrongfully convicted. I think it was. I'll have to look it up and get back to you guys. But David Milgaard didn't receive even close to that amount of money. Yeah, it was a different times and the economy was a different place then. But where are you getting this $10.5 million? I looked it up and I was trying to figure this out. Like, where is he pulling this money from? And yet funding trips to India, England, and traveling all around Canada, and traveling to Las Vegas to watch the Jets play in the playoffs. Where the fuck is he getting all this money? And I'm thinking about him like he's ripping off Canadians. He's doing everything that he said that he wanted to do. He's not doing anything he said he wanted to do when he got elected. He's doing the complete fucking opposite. He's worrying more about the East Coast than the West Coast and the territories. Like I said, he's a disgrace to Canada. And the other thing that he's doing is he wants to remove a pinnacle of Canada's past, and that's removing the statues of Sir John A. Macdonald. I'm against this. Sir John A. Macdonald, yes, he was an alcoholic, he was a womanizer, and he treated the Indigenous people with a total lack of respect. But again, it was a different time then. It was a different era. We can't control what happened in the past. Yes, I get that the treatment in residential schools was just disgusting. Just completely disgusting, and there's no going back, and there's no amount of money that can fix the emotional damage caused to those people. But with that being said, that's the past. All you people are clinging on to the past and forgetting, you know what? Him tearing down these statues is actually costing money. It's costing taxpayer dollars to remove these statues of a guy that helped build this country to what it is now. A free-loving nation. Because you know how they say, you can never atone for your mistakes, but you can learn from them. And that's what Canada has done over the years, is they constantly learn from their mistakes and how they've treated people. Take the slave trade. Like, Canada felt so bad for what they did to the Indigenous people. We were taking African American slaves, taking them in, and bringing them into our country because we felt so bad for how they were being treated in the States because of the Civil War and after the Civil War and everything. And we took them in because America was treating them poorly. And it's such a waste of money to just take down those statues. And even Ireland is pretty much just taking out Sir John A. Macdonald from everything. Because they disagree with absolutely everything he did. But again, it was a different time, it was a different era. We can't do anything about it. There's no fucking time machine. We can't go back in time and be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't take this land. Maybe we should, sit down, see if they teach one of them English, and then have him as a translator so he can translate and we can discuss how we can build this nation together. No, there's no way of doing that. There's no point. I don't understand this, and what needs to happen is there needs to be a plan. There needs to be a plan of attack. Canada, I think we've learned enough from our mistakes not to trust the United States. Because, in all honesty, Trump is a businessman. All he cares about is money. Trudeau is a stoner. All he cares about is legalizing marijuana. And pushing that through. And then taxing the Canadians again. Giving us another carbon tax put into place. First one was put into place by Jean Chrétien back in the early 90s. and a tariff was put into place to protect our oil reserves from the United States. Like, that's the thing with the United States. They just don't fucking learn. Okay, Bill Clinton brought in the North American Free Trade Agreement to protect the United States and Canada from reaping our resources. So we can't go in there and take what we want and pay them very, very minimal. And they can't come across our borders and take what they want and pay us very, very minimal. So we set the amount, the markup price of 300% for all resources. Donald Trump doesn't like that because it's a waste of money. Because he's a businessman. But, and I said this earlier, Donald Trump thinks Mexico is a part of North America. It isn't. The only reason why Mexico was included into the North American Free Trade Agreement was because of the coffee bean. And any other resources coming from Mexico, like any tropical fruit, like pineapples, bananas, coconuts, and all that shit. But they actually realized, we can actually grow that stuff in LA. Oh, I realized that anyway. They can grow that stuff in the United States. Why is Mexico even incorporated in this? And what happened to building a wall to keep the Mexicans out? You're contradicting yourself, President Trump. Completely contradicting yourself. You had a plan saying that you were going to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out of the illegal Mexicans or illegal... I don't even want to call them illegal aliens. That just sounds like a bad term to me. I'll just call them border jumpers. That's so racist. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I don't even want to call them border jumpers. I just want to call them Mexicans. He wanted to keep the Mexicans out, and that's why he wanted to build a wall. And what he's doing is building up not a physical wall between Canada and the United States. He's just building up a fucking, no shit, fuck you Canada wall. And he goes on to say in a clip that I posted on Facebook that he has friends up in Canada. He knows how it is up there. Just because you have friends up here, don't mean shit, Trump. You don't live in Canada. You don't live in Manitoba where we are... how minimum wage works, where we make the same amount as Newfoundland for minimum wage. $11.15 an hour. Saskatchewan gets $11 an hour. Like, minimum wage in Canada is fucking terrible. Because the cost of living is so high because the United States makes it high because we have to pay extra taxes on American goods coming in. Yet nobody seems to realize that. We do need a better solid plan for our countries and for this world, because right now, all I can say is that we're going to hell in a fucking handbasket.
So, what's the plan? Right. We take Pete's car, we drive over to Mum's, we go in, we take care of Philip. I'm so sorry, Philip. Then we grab Mum, we go over to Liz's place, hole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Why have we got to go to Liz's?
Because we do.
But she dumped you.
I have to know if she's all right.
Why?
Because I love her.
All right, gay. I'm not staying there, though.
Why not?
If we hole up, I want to be somewhere familiar, I want to know where the exits are, and I want to be allowed to smoke.
Okay. Take Pete's car, go round Mum's, go in, deal with Philip. Sorry, Philip. Grab Mum, go to Liz's, pick her up, bring her back here, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over. Perfect. No, wait, we can't bring her back here.
Why not?
Well, it's not exactly safe, is it?
Yeah. Look at the state of it.
Where's safe? Where's familiar?
Where can I smoke?
Take car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, sorry, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!
It is vital that you stay in your homes, make no attempt to reach loved ones, and avoid all physical contact with the assailants.
You believe everything you hear on TV?
These instructions.
I don't. That's why I don't watch TV. I'll read the newspaper, but I won't actually sit down and watch TV. I've already mentioned that in a later podcast. Yeah. So, I said my piece about the whole national, or North American Free Trade Agreement. I don't know why I keep on saying national, because it's not really national at all. Because nation just means one country. And not the entire continent. Okay. So, I just want to bring up the fact that Justin Trudeau is lazy. I just forgot to mention that before. I just want to mention that quickly. Justin Trudeau's lazy. He's sending in negotiators to negotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement. He's not doing it himself, but he wants to sit down with Donald Trump. If you wanted to sit down with Donald Trump, you would call him up and say, hey, we need to have a meeting about this, we need to think about this before you pass this law, before you even try to pass this bill and make it a law. We need to discuss this. Instead of sending in negotiators that really don't know how to negotiate, you're making it so Donald Trump will say, fuck you. That's all you're saying. That's all that's going to happen is Donald Trump will tell you to fuck off. Because you're not doing any of the work yourself. You're sitting back and letting everybody else do it. And that's the society we live in, though. That's the society we live in. Where you can scrape by doing the very, very bare minimum. And just have your hand out. And that's what I realized from working in customer service for so many years is that I don't want to say kids, I want to say the millennial generation has their hands out and expects jobs to be handed to them. I've been working since I would say 12 or 13. I would say 12 because I was working at my uncle's when I was 12 and doing farm work and everything. Not getting paid, just getting the work experience. By 13, he was actually paying money. And by that time, I was also working at the cemetery. I've worked 2 jobs that my family has helped me get. I worked at the cemetery in Balmoral, Manitoba, cutting grass there. My dad helped me and my brothers get that job. Then I worked at Alfab, and 3 job. No, I worked at Alfab because my dad saw the ad in the paper and had it open on the table because he knew that I was looking for a job and I wasn't going to school, so I needed to work. And then I worked at North American Lumber, and just because the manager at the time knew my family, gave me a shot. And then after that, all the jobs that I received, all the jobs that I've gotten, I did on my own. I applied on my own. I got the jobs because I made the effort. My hand wasn't out. I wasn't asking for anything. I did the work. I got the job. And I'm seeing this so many times where people at one place I worked, the manager I actually asked him to give me a promotion and asked him what I could do to get this promotion. He's like, all you have to do is ask. And then I asked him, and he's like, well, I'll think about it. So what he does is he hires somebody else in and then makes him the supervisor, gives him the promotion and just hires him. This has happened to me twice. And I wound up quitting the one job for wrongful termination because he was planning on firing me because I went over his head, and then he fired me because I apparently have Tourette's, which I don't have Tourette's. I speak the truth. I speak from the heart. I speak honestly and direct. I'm blunt, and if I don't like something, I'm going to mention it. I'm going to say something. It takes me a while to think of it and everything, but drugs, man, weed. Ooh. It's just ridiculous that this society that we live in has their hand on their has their hand out expecting money, expecting jobs, expecting everything to be handed to them. While there's other people out there that are actually trying to work at not being able to get ahead.